Hey everybody, welcome to Jersey Concept Friday, and welcome back to anyone who shows up every single Friday here on the channel. We have a lot of fun, so if you're new, maybe this is your first video, and you do enjoy it by the end of the video, maybe consider hitting subscribe and coming back for every Friday, because we do Jersey Concepts NHL almost every single week. Usually it's some specific series. That's what it is today. We've got alternate jerseys. I'm just looking at the file names here. So we've got 32. So 32 NHL teams, one for each team. We've got alternates, NHL alternates here. The designer today is Zach, and I think we looked at Zach's work in the past. So I'm going to bring it up, and we can react to these together and give our opinions. Let's bring up the first one. Let's see what he's got. Okay, I just need to rearrange up my screen a little bit. There we go. So first impressions. I'm thinking, so this is alternate. I need to get my mind in the alternate kind of universe here for all teams. I have to think home and away, what do they have now currently? What have they used in the past, not only for home and away, that could become an alternate, maybe from a previous generation, what they've used as an alternate in the past, specialty jerseys that may come into a future alternate or something. We've seen Washington do this. We've seen Calgary do this. So that's the kind of lens that I'm kind of looking through when I go through an alternate series that someone submits. And this first one here, the Anaheim Ducks, I quite like. I think this matches well both with their history and with their current branding. In terms of jersey layout and striping, it's kind of similar to what they have now. Color is completely different, but not different in a bad way, different reaching back into history. So layout-wise, it kind of matches their current branding, and color-wise, it kind of matches their previous branding. So this is a really good mix by Zach for a good alternate jersey. So honestly, this is like, that's the direction that I like jerseys to go, or alternate jerseys to go, whether it's a designer in the community, whether it's an actual team releasing one. Something that's different than their home and away, but still kind of feels like the same team. So good start, really good start. Next, the Boston Bruins. So the Bruins are going to be changing their jerseys. Well, I guess they've really changed their jerseys quite a bit. The Bruins have had a lot of jerseys in the past. I don't know, maybe since in the Adidas years in general, they've had a lot of jerseys. So we've got to see a lot from Boston. And I think something like this, they're getting the new home and away. This isn't it. So would this make a good alternate? Not using black as the primary, using their tertiary color, which is gold, make that the primary for the alternate. Very logical decision. I think it could definitely work. We've also seen multiple Bruins jerseys that use yellow as a primary. Think Reverse Retro 1.0. So I think it's logical, and it does feel familiar to the fan base. Next, okay, it's not a wrong decision. This is more personal preference for me. The deep blue that they went to and then went away from to go back to the royal lighter, more rich, saturated blue. To me, it's the worst of the two colors. So I understand the decision here to kind of go back to that deeper blue, maybe have it as an alternate, throw some shoulder patches up there, which you don't see on home. And, maybe that's okay. But I'm just such a big fan of that royal blue that they use now. It feels weird to see the darker blue, honestly. And it reminds me of early Adidas years. It reminds me of the Reebok years. And, I think it was a drastic color change for me. So I'm not saying this is a miss. I just think I would like it a lot more if it was the royal blue. But I completely understand Zach's decision here. Moving on, Carolina. This has Stadium Series vibes. This has little chunks of home jersey. We've got the alternate jersey. Previous alternate jersey, now home jersey. So there's chunks of a couple of different jerseys in here. And it does look good, but at the same time, it does kind of feel like those pieces were stitched together from different jerseys. It almost looks like a bit of a Frankenstein jersey. And I'm not sure how you rectify this situation, but it is nice. Like, it is very nice. I think I would like to see some black at the bottom of the jersey. Maybe not all that red at the bottom. Maybe just keep that black and just keep that kind of stripe, the pattern that's in there. That might help it be less Frankenstein-y, but it's a nice jersey for sure. But maybe a little bit too close to their home jersey. Okay, next, Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, I mean, that is pretty similar to their home jersey, except for we've got the red that comes down. I don't know. I'm a bit conflicted on this. Honestly, I think this is nicer than their home jersey, so I would rather this become their home jersey. Maybe they can do something a little bit more risky as an alternate jersey, but this is, it's very nice jersey. Calgary Flames. Okay, so we're going back into history a little bit with the bottom middle of the jersey. I like this section here as well. So, as retro as the home and away are, maybe you do something like this for the alternate. I think that wouldn't be a bad decision at all. It does still have a bit of retro, like 80s kind of vibes to this, so I think it definitely works. I would be okay with this. The logo feels a little bit big, but yeah, this is good. Chicago. To me personally, this is a miss. More so from a color standpoint, they already use red as their primary color on their home jersey. So why would they have an alternate with the same color essentially? Now, obviously, the striping is a little bit different. The bottom of the jersey is completely different. But I just feel if they're gonna do an alternate jersey, they would do black as the primary color. Well, I mean, ideally, or they would do just maybe a red jersey. You know, fine. If you're gonna go red, but change the logo. Put an alternate logo on the front or something completely different. Not the same primary color and not the same primary logo. I don't think on an alternate. Next, the Colorado Avalanche. I almost thought that was waves a little bit at the bottom, like almost like an Islanders fisherman, a rigid version basically of the fisherman jersey. It's okay. I really like the neck. What's happening here? That transition from the lighter blue to the dark blue in the neck. I think that's nice, and allowing that burgundy to really breathe, or maroon, whatever you want to call that, to really breathe. excuse me, up into the shoulders. Currently, we kind of lose that in the jersey, so it's nice to see an Avalanche jersey just have that color kind of moving up, which is nice. I'm not sold on the stripe design though. Okay, this is reaching back into the history a little bit. This is, I guess, combining two eras of the Dallas Stars, maybe almost three, honestly, with the different colors. I think that every fan around the NHL, or at least the vast majority, would be very, very happy to see this general star jersey come back. Think about how popular that the All-Star jerseys were a couple of years ago that used this design. And that was a reach back into the 1993, 94-ish All-Star jerseys. And like those were so loved back in the day, taken from the Dallas Stars kind of jersey. And why not? Why not bring this back? How this has not happened yet is beyond me. We've seen lots of renditions of this, whether it's all one color green, split green like this. Almost every version is really good. This is a good example as well. This is one that would do well with the fan base, do well with jersey collectors, and be one of the best uniforms in the NHL. So this is very good, Zach. I like the usage of that gold bronzy color in here. It's good. Okay, next, yeah. I'm okay with this, actually. It's like I don't want to sound contradictory because I said no primary color and no primary logo on an alternate jersey. Well, that's basically what this is. Primarily red and primary the same logo on this hypothetical alternate. But I always view Detroit just as a little bit of a different brand because they're so traditional. They don't take any risks. They play it safe more than any other team in the NHL. And even just doing this, changing up the striping pattern on the arm, moving the numbers down from the top of the arm near the shoulder, near the elbow, or too near the elbow, that is a big branding risk for Detroit just in general. Just doing that and adding that little bit of silver in there. We've seen the silver in reverse retro jerseys. We've seen it in Winter Classic. I think it was against Toronto in the Reebok years. I believe they had some silver in there as well. So silver isn't an unfamiliar color for us for Detroit, but it's still considered maybe a bit of a risky color. So I'm actually okay with this as an alternate jersey, even though I know it kind of sounds contradictory for me to say that based on conversation about Chicago, but let's move on. Edmonton Oilers, so no white. We've got gray, but no white. I do like the numbers on the shoulders. I think that's pretty cool. I would say that I kind of miss the white in the logo, though. I think I would be okay with it outlined in the silver or gray, but the interior, I'm missing the white a little bit there. And I think their two-tone jersey, not that this is two tones, there's three colors here, but their two-tone jersey, alternate from a couple of years ago, that was an excellent uniform and jersey. I don't know if this is better. This is not bad, though, at all. Let's continue to the Florida Panthers. Okay, well, I'm conflicted on this one because I really like the jersey design a lot. But again, it's so similar to their home jersey where they've got that split striping in the middle with the logo on the front, red is the primary, same logo. So I don't want this as an alternate. If you wanted to change the home jersey to this, that's completely fine. I would be very interested in having this exact same jersey design, but inverse the colors. Where you see red, picture the blue, and where you see the blue, picture the red, minus the logo. I think that would be a better alternate overall. And that little just angle in the stripe and the arm coming off the middle would make it feel a little bit more modern as an alternate and a different design. So yeah, I would just inverse the colors. Okay, moving on for more alternates here, we've got LA. Yeah, I think that's pretty decent actually, because this reaches back into the early to mid 2000s, I think, and these colors were loved and they are currently missed. We don't get the gold from the original days or the yellow or whatever, but we do get the purple, and it complements nicely with the silver and with the black. And it's a pretty nice jersey. I think it would be very well received and collected as well. So good job on this one, Zach. Next, the Minnesota Wild, the team that definitely needs some brand consistency a little bit. They've got probably the best alternate in the NHL, or at least top three maybe, and one of the best home jerseys in the NHL. The alternate or the home jersey looks nothing alike, and the away jersey is maybe one of the worst in the NHL, and it looks nothing like the alternate or home. So they need some brand consistency. So as an alternate jersey, I love what they have now. If that needed to become the home jersey, and I used an inverse version of that as the away, basically reverse retro 1 and reverse retro 2, and use this as the alternate, I would definitely be okay with that. Here's an instance where I feel like the rounded shoulders work for me personally. I look at the style and design of the logo, and yes, we've got some rigidness in the text, but the general container or shape is circular. And what other aspect of the jersey mirrors that in a way? It's the shoulders. Here's a situation where I don't think squared off shoulders would be right. I think it's rounded shoulders which work best, which helps complement the logo. And the main element of the logo is the big circular piece in the background. Wild is the first thing we see and the first thing that we read, I guess, but the shape itself of the logo is really the biggest element. So I think Zach made a really good decision here with the shoulders and with the jersey design in general. It's not my favorite logo. It'll never be close to my favorite logo for the Minnesota Wild, but it does feel a little bit classic. It feels late 90s, early 2000s. You know, the Wild came into the league in the early 2000s, so that kind of feels like this era a little bit for this jersey, so I like it. The Montreal Canadiens. So, I'm a little conflicted. I'm a little conflicted. I don't know if I would. How am I going to word this? I think the rounded shoulders again was the right decision here. I just don't know if I love how much white is up there. It almost feels like it's too much white on the whole jersey. I'm gonna have to look at this one, come back to this one, and look at it a little bit, and just kind of forget about it for a couple of minutes, and maybe come back at the end of the video when I'm trying to pick my favorites. I need to look at this one again. The number placement as well, like the white stroke on the numbers looks good on the blue little pinstripe, but it falls away on the white of the rest of the striping. So I'm a little conflicted with a couple of things in this jersey. Let's continue. Okay, the Devils. Honestly, this would be a really good Devils alternate jersey. They've got the red as the primary. They've got the white as the away, obviously. So a black alternate, which a lot of people wanted. It's not, we did get a black alternate, but it's not the jersey that we wanted. This is, to me, the perfect alternate jersey. I've noticed that Zach's really done some big logos on some of these jerseys. To me, this logo is too big. I would shrink it down specifically for this one. Yeah, I don't see anything about this one that I would change or anything like this. I think it's good. Next, the Nashville Predators. Well, I'm definitely okay with the jersey design. I would just maybe want to see an inverse. They've got yellow as the primary for their home jersey, so why not do maybe an inverse and use blue as the primary and then yellow as the secondary color or something like that. I think that would be okay. But one thing I will note is that I really like the representation of the logo in the jersey, when really the tooth or the teeth there in that creature represented here on the front of the shoulders, and also represented, I guess, basically in this section. So it's got that really nice balance, and it also gives that little bit of a modern touch to it, so it's nice. Zach has made some really good small, little fine detail decisions in his work, and I really appreciate that. And hey, if you want to try your hand at designing jerseys and send them in, I would absolutely love that. You can use the template that Zach is using here. I'm not actually familiar with what this one is. There are also some free ones online, ones that aren't as detailed as this. But if you're looking for a super detailed one, I would definitely recommend checking out sportstemplates.net. They've got regular jersey templates, they've got full uniform templates, flat lay ones, arenas, sweaters, goalie masks. And then beyond hockey in other sports as well, they have all kinds of templates for baseball, basketball, football, soccer. They've got over 70 plus templates. You can use my code post to post. That'll save you 10%. But if you're not ready to drop some coin, that's completely fine. There are free ones on the site. You can download it right now for free, play around and come up with some designs and send them in. But if you do buy any template on the site, make sure you use the code to save yourself some money. And I'd love to see your work. If you're interested in that and you're not sure how to submit, details are down below in the description of this video. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Past Nashville to the Islanders, which I chose to wear today for this video. A little aggressive in the striping. I think the frequency of that wave is a little bit too high. I think we need to maybe just relax a little bit on that, and I'm okay with it. I think it just needs to get a little, I don't want to say cartoony. It feels a bit cartoony. I would say just like relax to a lower frequency wave, specifically maybe on the bottom of the jersey. But I like it. Like, I like the approach, I like the idea, and I like the logic behind it. I would say just maybe dumb it down a little bit. The Rangers, I would really like to see something like this from the Rangers, having their actual official primary logo on a jersey. This is a really good example of that. It would make the perfect alternate because it's similar to the home jersey, but you got a different primary logo, different striping, and you get that colorization in the shoulders up there on a dark jersey that you do see on the away jersey. So it's pulling elements from the away jersey, it's pulling elements from other assets in your profile, in your arsenal, which is the primary logo of the team. So yeah, really good, perfect number choice, keeping it in line with what they use now. So I like this one a lot, Zach, for an alternate. Okay, so we've got the Ottawa Senators here now, and this is, I get like original, like 1992, mid-90s into the early 2000s vibes from this, which I think is okay, but their home and away are kind of that right now, just tweaked a little bit. This uses more of that bronze color, which I'm fine with. I think this would be an okay alternate, but likely not my first decision or pick. Okay, the Flyers. Well, this looks kind of like a Stadium Series jersey in a way. It's two-tone. There's no white. There is, I think, good representation of orange. It's not too much orange, but it's not, you don't feel like you're wanting more orange. It follows their same kind of little cupped design there. Yeah, it's fine. Fine alternate. Very, very modern. Okay, the Penguins. I would probably say yes from like the elbows up, but no from the elbows down. I'm not a huge fan of that striping. It feels a little bit too repetitive to me, and I think there's way better options for the Pittsburgh Penguins. If you reach back into their history, they have so much to work with, and yeah, I don't know. I just don't love the bottom of this jersey. Okay, moving on to Seattle. Now, this has potential. I think the same thing about the Islanders that I do here. I think the frequency of, it's not a wave in this situation, it's the tentacle of the creature, or kraken, whatever. It feels a little aggressive and it's almost distracting, honestly, I think, in the striping. So I would either maybe make that way more subtle, and instead of having it a dark blue that you see in the jersey, have it be like beveled or stitched like we see in like the filigree in the Vegas Golden Knights jerseys, where it's the same color, like it's on the white or it's whatever color it is, but you can see it bevels out from the jersey. And I think you could do that here. Could you use a lighter blue, but just have it like as almost a design or a pressed or an embossed look on the arm. I think that would be really cool. Okay, these Sharks. We're going back for this one. Now, the jersey design itself is screaming early 90s, big time early 90s. But the logo on the front is the, I guess, modern version of the logo. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little conflicted with this one. I think that it would be okay, but kind of like some of the other ones, it wouldn't be my first choice for San Jose. Okay, so the Blues, this, I would say, is not my favorite jersey design in general, but I think it represents the brand well, and I think it would complement the rest of their jerseys. It's not crazy different. It's using all the same colors, more of the lighter blue overall, but different enough from the home jersey to absolutely be an alternate. And I think this would be a pretty good uniform as well. Sometimes you see a jersey and you're like, I'm not sure if that would work in a uniform. I'd have to see it, but this one I can almost already tell it would be a pretty cool uniform. Okay, the Lightning. Very logical choice here, going with black as the primary for an alternate. They use the blue. They really need some black back in their branding, so this would be a good alternate. Same logo as the home. Totally fine, but put the black back on there, and we're cooking. That's really all Tampa needs to do is have a black alternate version of their home jersey. It's not difficult, Tampa. Just do it, okay? This is a really good design, though, from Zach. Ooh, I like this a lot immediately. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, this is a really good example of an alternate jersey. You guys are going to have to help me with the year here, okay? I sometimes struggle. I know the design in my head, but I sometimes struggle with going back and getting the specific year. So feel free to comment down below and give me that exact year. The Toronto Maple Leafs were in I think it was a Winter Classic game against Detroit sometime around 2013 or 2014. I don't know, around there. And they used an arm design kind of like this. I would like to see this in an alternate jersey, or if they were in a Winter Classic again, or Heritage Classic, or whatever. I think this is very original 6. It completely matches their branding and something that they would do and have done. And the color shows in here, just a lighter blue. It's very logical. Change the text color inside to be that lighter blue as well. Keep the primary color as a darker blue. This is a really good alternate. Could even be Winter Classic, Heritage Classic, just a good jersey in general. Okay, Utah. So when he made these jerseys, Utah's name was not announced yet. That just happened. If you have not seen that video, I reacted to that and kind of discussed that, and we took a real deep dive on all the graphics and stuff that they released. So I'll post the thumbnail to that video. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. But when he made this, we didn't know the team name was going to be the Mammoth, so he kept it very generic here. And as an alternate, I honestly like it better than the away jersey. Like, it's a better usage of the letters U, T, A, and H. I think that the away, we've just seen it so many times. And we've seen this too. Smashville Stadium Series from 2020 or whatever it was is a good example of this. And I don't love this trend and idea, but I do think it looks good here. 4 letters, very short. It's not Smashville. It's not 6, 7 letters or whatever it is. It's just, it's just Utah. 4 letters. You can make the font a little bit bigger, and it complements really nicely with the striping that he has in here. So while this is not what I would do on paper or even probably think of, he's executed this idea very well. So good job. I'm curious how this would change, though, now that we know the name is officially the Mammoth. Oh, okay. This is a little tricky because, like I said before, primary logo on the same primary color, basically. But I really like the bottom of this jersey. I like the amount of green that's in here, the darker blue that's kind of being used at the bottom, lighter blue up top, darker blue down below to match the blue in the logo. This is a nice jersey overall. I wouldn't actually change anything about it. I really like it. I'm just wondering what else we could do to differentiate it more from the home jersey, the current home jersey. So, Zach, if you're watching, I'd be really curious. You can keep all these designs. You don't have to redesign any of these. But if you did want to submit your league idea, your ideal home, away, and alternate, and resubmit that as your idea for the entire NHL, for every NHL team, so we get 3 jerseys per team, I'd be very curious to know if you have any ideas in changing the home and away. If you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, I really like the home jersey, I want to tweak it for the alternate, but if I was going to do the home jersey, I would change that. So if you want to resubmit, I'm happy to put these jerseys back on the screen for people. You'll just have to resubmit and have 3 per file. But I'd be very curious to see your vision, just based on these alternates. Your work is very good, so, and I'm sure the viewers at home would like to see your vision as well, so I'd be very curious to see that. So feel free to submit that in the future. Moving on to the Vegas Golden Knights. I think this isn't bad. It's Reverse Retro 1.0 design-wise, with a little more, I guess, original home in there. It's quite a dark jersey. It's not bad. I don't think it's better than the original home, current alternate, and I don't think it's necessarily better than Reverse Retro 1.0 because I did like that red. So it's not bad. It's just not, maybe not the best option. Oh, Winnipeg. This is absolutely, the Jets. Okay, question for you. If you're familiar with planes or fighter jets or whatever, what's the most common color or look of a fighter jet? it's almost always silver based on the metal. Planes are, like commercial planes, are typically painted white, but the reason that fighter jets are silver or whatever is just because that's generally the color of the metal with some coating on it and stuff and some anti-radar nonsense. All right. So to have a jersey for a team called the Jets, which is represented by the CAF, Canadian Air Force, and essentially F-18s, why not? Why would you not have a jersey that kind of resembles your primary fighter for your country? Now, as a Canadian and as an aviation fan, the F-18 is about 10 years overdue to be replaced. It's going to be replaced by the F-35. Maybe. There's some, like, we can get a whole nother video about if you want to talk about that, okay? But currently, that's what's on paper, is that the F-35 is going to replace. It's going to be the same color. It's not going to be painted anything crazy. Highly, highly doubt it. Might have a little bit of color on it, but this would be such a good, all that to say, this would be such a good alternate for the Winnipeg Jets to match their current branding, what they actually represent as a team in terms of branding Canada and those planes. I think this is a perfect alternate. I really like what's happening with the logo as well. Probably one of the best Winnipeg alternate jerseys, or jerseys in general, that I've seen. I love it a lot. Next, finally, last, the Washington Capitals. Washington has some really good alternates and some really good jerseys in their history, from specialty jerseys to just regular alternates to previous home jerseys from way back. They have a lot to work with. This idea isn't bad. I just don't know if it's maybe better than anything that they've used previously, maybe other than their recent alternate. That's okay. This is probably better than that, but it's not my favorite. It's not bad, though. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, Winnipeg's going to be my favorite. I think this is the best logical decision. I think it matches well with everything. I'm not going to go back through this. It's my favorite. I do want to look at the Montreal one again real quickly. Now that I've seen everything, I just want to kind of go back to it. Okay, yeah, I still don't love it, but it's definitely not bad. I want to give an honorable shout out to, where is it? The Minnesota one. I thought Zach made a good decision there with a lot of elements. I thought the Dallas one was very logical as well, as an alternate jersey specifically. Be okay if they wanted to use that as a home, but as an alternate. The Anaheim one probably deserves an honorable shout out too for a logical choice. Actually, Zach's made a lot of really good decisions in here for almost all of these. Like, he's made some really, really good decisions. So Zach, great work. Thank you so much for submitting those. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys at home watching had a good time going through these. If you've got a couple of minutes, let me know down below in the comment section. What was your favorite in this video? I'm sure Zach wants to know as well. If you want to leave your criticism or constructive feedback, please do. That really helps designers. Like, I'm just a talking head in a video. I've got my own opinion. You may disagree, you may agree with some of mine, but the more important thing is that everybody has an opinion, and that's what the comment section is for. And I think if I was a designer and I was seeing my work being viewed by the public, I would want to go down to the comment section and I would want to see what people are saying and see what they would like to see what they didn't like. So if you do have a couple of minutes, don't comment really for me. I'm always going to read the comments and I'm always going to be curious, but comment for the designers in the community that take the time to submit to the channel and have their work out there. So if you do have a couple minutes, please do that. But appreciate it. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button. That's the part that helps me, is that like button. And of course, if you're not subscribed, that's the biggest help possible for the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Come back every single Friday and have some fun with us here and start the weekend off right looking at some hockey jerseys. So hope you have a great start to your weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Lots to talk about with the playoffs going on. Adios.